the people that we get our milk from at Hickory Hill Dairies have taken over the production of Clemson Blue Cheese. So they're milking the cow, shipping the milk, making the cheese, and the same person is making the cheese. It's been there forever. They've hired him. They have everything going really great. So one of the things that we make at the restaurant is a Clemson Blue Cheese country ham ball. So it has everybody's favorites in it because I don't know about you, but I have to have ham or bacon at every meal. So I'm going to kind of get them going, and then we're going to talk about lots of different ways you can eat blue cheese. So I have to have pimento cheese in every recipe. So I've got my glove because this is one of those recipes you want to touch everything.
Gushy, yeah.
So I've got a cup of pimento cheese and the Clemson Blue Cheese. Now this is salty, so I'm not going to add any other salt. Everything's kind of been seasoned. So I've got a cup of the Clemson Blue Cheese.
And you've got this softened so it's ready to move right in.
And then ham. So this is something you can just have everything ready to go.
Is this a country ham or is
this is a country ham that I chopped up and fried
salty,
a little bit in it.
A good bit of flavoring already.
So this is a good game day food.
I was going to think, yeah.
Because, you know, then you could drink more apple cider.
Of course, or
at a game. So we're just going to smush these together. Now I like to make these a day ahead and put them in the refrigerator after we bread them. So that they'll fry better.
Sure, yeah. They'll stay together while you're working with them.
So see how quick and easy that was?
That was pretty easy.
One thing I've learned is even my mistakes taste good. So if you wanted to, if you didn't have time to bread, oh my God, people are coming now. Put this in a casserole dish and bake it.
Whoa.
And you've got dip.
But we do have time.
So we have our little ham balls here. And then the big secret is an ice cream scoop.
Whoa.
This is the restaurant secret. So we're going to make our little scoops, and we have, I'm backwards here. I have flour, egg wash, and breadcrumbs. And in these breadcrumbs, this is my favorite part, because this lets all my frustrations go. You get to crush up potato chips.
Whoa.
So I think of everything that's made me mad during the day, and I crush up my potato chips.
Well, and that's when I go and prune.
Yeah.
we all have our
much
secret
to
ways to
prune,
get
so.
rid of frustrations.
Yeah, when I walk around with a knife, people run.
I'm sure they do.
So we have a little egg wash here.
All right.
Flour. Now normally when I bread things, like I said, I season every layer.
But since
this one has so much
highly seasoned,
that I'm not going to do that.
The ingredients are so highly seasoned.
So I do 4 at a time.
That ice cream scoop, what a great
perfect.
idea.
Everything's the same size.
Which makes it consistent when you're cooking.
Right, especially with frying, because you want them all to fry at the same time. So flour.
Flour.
Now they can sit here and they can sit here, but they can't sit in the egg wash.
Okay.
So we're just going to roll them through the egg wash real quick. Wet hand, dry hand. I'm supposed to know how to do that after all this time, but I always end up covered in breadcrumbs.
How many years of cooking school?
Well, I only went to cooking school for 2 years, and I did 5 years of apprenticeship, but I've been cooking. I'm getting ready to have my 30th class reunion from Sumter High School.
30th?
30th.
And tell me some of the wonderful places that you've been.
Well, I've cooked all over. I spent a summer in France with a friend of mine. I spent a summer in Greece. I've been to Savannah, Georgia, St. Louis, Missouri. We lived in New Orleans last.
New Orleans, yeah.
And my husband worked for Emeril Lagasse, and then I opened a little restaurant there called Elizabeth's, where I introduced New Orleans to real Southern food, because New Orleans is Southern, but it is not
the French
Southern. It's different.
So strong.
It is.
So what was one of the things, just for curiosity?
Shad roe.
Oh, how marvelous.
And deviled eggs. They thought I invented something new with deviled eggs. I did deviled eggs with shad roe and served them as an appetizer, and people thought I invented something new. I didn't want to tell them that we've had that quite a while.
Yeah. Oh, no, take credit whenever you can. All right, so you've got, I can tell that this is pretty warm over here. You've got
So you can fry these at home. I love having a little tabletop fryer because then you don't have to worry about anything. Now, at the restaurant, we cheat. I fry country ham in the oil before we fry anything. That's why our fried chicken tastes so good. Yeah. So we take a couple of pounds of country ham and we fry it in the oil that we're going to fry in. So that's well seasoned, because it's, you know, we're not supposed to use all those lardy oils anymore. But
a great way to get the flavor.
But I do it. So
okay.
So we'll fry some of these.
All right.
And I've got my grease working here on your new handy dandy stove. I'm the first one to use it.
I know.
Pretty exciting. You don't want to
We're saving it for you.
You don't want to overcrowd your frying.
Well, you don't want the oil to cool down too fast, do you?
And I'm trying to decide how many people are in here so we make sure we have enough for everybody. So.
Tony says he's planning to eat 2.
Okay. Now these, you can fry them and then reheat them. They reheat really well. We have several people at the restaurant who buy them for parties, and they take them home and they just pop them in the oven.
Oh, so they don't have to put them back. So you've done the hard part for
Right.
them. They just warm them up in the oven on a baking sheet.
And if you're going to take these to game,
This is not
if you're going to
hard.
take these to game day,
Yeah.
fry them the day ahead, and then just pop them in the oven before you go to kind of warm up the cheese. There we go. Doesn't that look beautiful?
Gosh, they're just browning up beautifully. And they're going to have that fun little secret ingredient.
That's right, with the blue
potato
cheese.
chip. No, the potato chip.
Oh, the potato chips are good too, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a little girl, we lived in Orangeburg for a while, and my mama had a Charlie Chip franchise truck. She drove around with the truck and delivered.
I remember those old
Charlie
tins
Chip,
they'd bring to your house.
Well, that made us the most popular kids in first grade.
And also, there were all those little broken pieces at the bottom that your mother
Yeah.
was going to find something to do with.
Well, my mother didn't cook a lot, but she did. We just ate them.
So how did you decide that you wanted to be a cook, a chef?
Well,
Although I do think that you're a cook because you just cook so
I just
great.
love to
Yeah,
cook.
Yeah.
well, the University of South Carolina suggested I find alternative education, so I thought I would go
after
to
a
cooking
semester
school.
or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went through the whole year, and
Oh.
they thought maybe I didn't quite fit in the university format. So I went to cooking school and for a year in Myrtle Beach and loved it. So then I went to Johnson & Wales. So I did go to college for 4 years.
All righty.
But I still don't have a 4-year degree.
You've got life degrees, and
That's
that's what
true.
counts, isn't
But you know,
it?
and
Yeah.
I talk to kids now who want to learn to cook, and that's what they say. You know, where should I go to cooking school? I said, you should go to business school. That's what you should do. You should go to business school, and then you should find somewhere that you love to cook.
Because you've got to be able to make a living.
That's right.
And you've got to be able to have a life, too, because one of the reasons y'all left New Orleans, I think, was that y'all decided to add to your family.
We did. At 40-ish, had a
Uh-huh.
baby, and decided we would have to work a lot more to send him to school there. So we moved back to South Carolina where he could go to school. Now, look how easy that was.
That was so simple.
Now, at the restaurant, we serve these with pepper jelly. But you could, I like the sweet and spicy from it, but you could use anything like that. I think peach preserves would be really good with this, or fig preserves would be really good with
you know,
that.
we've got a good friend, Sally's Greatest. I think some of her things would be wonderful. in it, don't you?
Absolutely,
Sally's
absolutely.
Greatest jams. That would be delicious. And so we could go ahead and, I guess you got to let them cool just a minute.
Well, that just depends on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could probably
Pop 'em, yeah. Okay.
let's cut one open and see.
Oh,
Yummy
boy,
and gooey.
yum,
And
yum. Perfect. Okay, Tony, that was mine. Don't worry, I'm not getting into your
she's
stash.
saving some for you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about other things that you can do with the blue cheese. It's so easy to work with. And what's important when you're serving blue cheese, and when you're serving cheeses, you want to start with your milder cheeses first. So when you set up your cheese for your guest on a
Okay.
plate, you want to start, if you're going to have a camembert or a brie, you put that first. And then maybe a cheddar or hard cheese second, and then you put your blue cheese third.
Because blue cheese does have a very authoritative taste.
And so the tradition is that you always set it up how you're going to eat it. And so that way your guests know where to start. So they would start with a
So
softer
give them some
cheese.
clues.
Right. Because if you walk in and you eat blue cheese and then you go back to the camembert, you're like, that doesn't taste so good.
Yeah, why is anybody excited about this?
And you know, my problem is I have to have, no matter where we go, I have to have pimento cheese with something. So to me, that is the perfect cheese, and I'm trying to convince the rest of the world that that is the
I
perfect
feel
cheese.
the same way. I love pimento cheese.
Or maybe you can
yeah.
add mayonnaise to it. Why not?
Yeah.
So another thing that we do at the restaurant is we make these little cream puffs. And I think you could
all right.
probably buy these. And we split them open. And then we fill them with a little blue cheese.
And that's the nice thing about cream puffs is they come with all these little cavities
They
that are
do.
just perfect to fill with something that's tasty.
So
I'm going to get this over here and put it in my special pile.
So we make these. Let's see. Get this out of the way here. And we can make a little salad with it. We'll serve them like this. We'd pop them in the oven and serve them like this. Here I've made a blue cheese apple grilled cheese sandwich.
Now tell me how we went about that.
So I have the Hendersonville apples are coming in.
Oh, I know. Just delicious and crisp. Aren't they
Aren't
wonderful?
they? They're really
Yeah.
good. Last year we didn't have a lot of good. We had a lot of good. We had the apples we had were good, but we didn't have a lot of apples. So what I would do is take your apple and cut the core out, and then slice it as thin as you can slice it.
Okay, so we want it to be almost like sliced ham or something. We're kind
Right.
of going for that
Because you want it
thickness.
to kind of melt into the cheese. And then the other thing, when you bite the sandwich, you don't want a big chunk of apple to fall out. So then what I would mix is a little bit of cream cheese, like butter on one side, and then the blue cheese on top of that, and then layer your sliced apples, which is what I've done here.
Yeah, let's see how it went. Oh, okay.
And then, of course, I grilled it in butter.
Of course, that butter. What would we do with that?
With a little bacon fat in
Yeah.
it. So, I hate to use the word bacon because I think poor bacon and pork belly's gotten overworked, but gosh darn it, tastes good.
It can't be overworked when you're cooking, in my opinion, because it just adds such a great flavor.
And
I think that you really do try to make sure that there's that southern influence in everything that you do.
Well, that's why I said everybody raves about pork belly, and I say, it's bacon, right? Because we've had bacon it's not a new product. We've had bacon for a while. And these are grapes from our area that one of our local growers grows, Happy Berry.
And then you've got some pretty greens over here, too. A salad, I think, that you can make.
Well, I do. We were going to talk about my favorite old school salad.
Okay.
The wedge salad. So a wedge salad is so easy. You just want to take a head of iceberg, which, what's old is new again. So now iceberg is the new super cool lettuce.
Well, and it's so crunchy.
It is.
I like iceberg.
It's refreshing, too.
Yeah.
I love the baby greens, but sometimes I want something that I really have to chew.
Yeah, it's got that great
I
crispness.
spent a summer in Japan, and I was so embarrassed of myself one day. I had to go somewhere where I bought food that you chew. Because you slurp everything in Japan.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
So, all right, well, let's make us a pretty little salad here. So we would just take these wedges and put them across here.
So far, so good.
And then Clemson has their own blue cheese dressing. If I were smart, I would have had this already open.
And made with Duke's mayonnaise, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
A wonderful combination.
The Duke's dressing.
Fabulous.
So I'm going to put a little extra blue cheese on top here.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to put this blue cheese dressing on top of that.
Oh, look at the consistency of that.
It is really good.
Wonderful.
And now you need to shake it up when you get it because Hickory Hill does a low temp pasteurized milk, and they use that on here. And so the cream does separate a little. And we've just forgotten
what that lets you know.
We've
that
just
the
forgotten.
Cream is there.
That's right. We've just forgotten what that looks like. So that was what our grandmother used to make us drink the cream on top.
So here we have pork belly, a.k.a. bacon.
Got a little bacon to put on top. So we'll sprinkle a little crispy bacon on top.
What would be more lovely?
And then some Young's
pecans.
Or pecans,
Yeah.
depending on who your mama is.
Yeah.
Well, my grandmama came from Mobile, so we had an identity crisis because we had to say pecans.
Oh, really?
We had pralines and pecans. So now that's a beautiful little wedge salad. It's easy. You could add a piece of grilled chicken to it. You've got a whole dinner. You could serve it as an appetizer. A lot of times we'll take the leaves from these, and you could just, I can get a leaf. And you could put these same ingredients in here and roll them up.
Heidi, this is
and
just
all
all kinds of great ideas.
So there's all kinds of great things to do with